What's going on, guys? This is Bruce Matson, your host of the show. I'm a little lazy. I don't have a name for the show yet, but that's all cool. I'm here to talk fantasy football, and everything else. If you like that sort of thing, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you don't miss the next episode. But I'm going to dig in deep here on the Dallas Cowboys. And the reason why is pretty much due to social media. From what I've seen over these last couple of days since the Thanksgiving Day game, people making fun of them due to some of their analytical approach towards play calling and stuff like that. And I just want to give my perspective from what I see this team should be doing, and I just want to throw it out there. Unfortunately, I can't play highlights right now because YouTube is just dropping copyright claims on me left and right, and I think that's hurting me on the algorithm, so no more. It's just straight me, guys. You're going to see this face right here. Yeah, I'm growing a mullet, though, to keep you happy, so that should entice you to hit that subscribe button, if anything, or hit a like or whatever. I don't care. But Dallas right now should be tanking. Them faking the punt on fourth down when they did, and McCarthy saying he's working with analytics and stuff with his play calling, and everyone's making fun of him for that because obviously that was the wrong move. They shouldn't be trying to win games. What they have gained if they beat the Redskins? They would have an extra win on their record. Like, you win the division and you're more than likely going to go to the playoffs and see a first-round exit. Just wanting to make the playoffs is just a loser's mentality in my perspective. The goal is to win the Super Bowl. You're not going to win the Super Bowl with Andy Dalton. For some reason, I just throwing out some weird accents right now, but you're not going to win the Super Bowl with Andy Dalton and a broken makeshift offensive line, injuries all over the offense and defense, and think that's going to fly. Even if you win this makeshift NFC East division, you're just going to get bounced in the playoffs with this. Dak's not there. Your offensive line's not there. It's just not looking good. And the big issue with Dallas going forward is the salary cap. They're going to have to make some tough moves next year because they have to figure out what they want to do with Dak. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they want to keep him somehow, some way. A lot of people either want to see him go or see him get signed. I'm guessing maybe the franchise tag. I don't know how the numbers are going to work on that, but they're going to work very hard to get Dak. They know what life's like without Dak, and the organization knows what it's like to be without a quarterback for a very long time. Think of all those 5-11 seasons after Troy Aikman. You're talking about the Chad Hutchinson days. We don't want to go back to that. They don't want to go back to that. Tagging Dak, the best thing to do, the appropriate thing to do, is to re-sign him and extend him out. You might be able to get a little bit of a discount on him now. Another thing is maybe Dak wants to hit the market. Maybe he does. I don't know the relationship between him and the front office and what he wants. What he say he wants and what he actually wants are two different things. It's very hard. It's going to be very hard for this team to keep all these pieces together that Dak's used to playing with. That's not going to be fun if they sign him long term. They just can't afford an offensive line anymore. They can't afford the weapons, and the defense is broken. He's in shootouts, and they're winning 4 games a year. He's tossing 4,500 yards, 33 touchdowns. Everything's looking good, but from the stat sheet, but the wins or losses are putrid. That could be the scenario. So he may want like Amari Cooper to be there long term. He may be advocating for that. He may say, "I'll take a hit on my salary if you keep Cooper," or a hit on my salary if you keep this offensive lineman. Those are things that could be worked in. But winning games right now is the worst thing they can do. The best thing for them is just to keep losing and gain draft capital. The closer they can get to that first overall pick, which they're not going to get to, but if they can be 2, 3, 4-ish, they're probably not going to be 2-ish. They're probably going to be 3 and 4 range if they keep this pace, which is nice. They can leverage that in a trade, or they can draft a defensive player, offensive lineman. They can get a piece to really help that team out. The best thing for them to do is be able to trade back, get multiple picks, and use the draft through volume to rebuild this team because they don't have the cap to do it. They don't have the cap, so they need multiple players. They need players that can fill the lineup, fill the starting lineup, and compete because they're going to have to make some. If they want to keep Dak, they're going to have to make some tough moves. Winning right now is going to make those moves even harder for them because if they drop back in draft order and say they win 2 games and they're picking 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, that's going to hurt them because now those picks are less value throughout the whole draft. So trading back, accumulating picks, or the talent you're looking at is going to be a lot different. It's going to affect you long term. And you do not have the capital and the salary cap to make up your team any other way. Another option is to go without Dak, which I don't think is a very good idea. We're seeing this experiment live right in front of our face, except for the offensive line's broken, things aren't looking good, and it's just been an awful season. We can make this awful season a positive if this team can just lose out and work for draft capital. Make that draft capital work for them. This was a game on Thanksgiving this team didn't need to win. For all I know, they called some of these plays on offense to make sure they didn't accidentally win like they did the week prior against Minnesota. They did not need to beat Minnesota. That did nothing for them. Sure, it makes it look like they can win the division, but if they win the division, what's that going to do for them? They win the NFC East, they go to the playoffs, Andy Dalton's going to get bounced out. The whole team's going to be bounced out one round, and now you don't have really any great draft capital, and you're in salary cap purgatory, and you need to retool. This team needs to retool. It's not a bad team. It's just, unless they're able to retool some things on the fly, it could get bad real quick looking on down the road. The offensive line is good, but they seem young, but they're kind of like, it's kind of like meeting your friend after high school. You guys are about 25. You haven't seen him since high school, since you graduated. You go see him, and you're excited to meet up with him. And then you're at Applebee's. You have that meal, and you look at him in the face. You're like, dude, you look like you're 45, but you're 25. What's happened this whole year? That's the Cowboys' offensive line. The numbers around their age, it sounds like they're young, but they've been injured, banged up so much these last couple years, months, or whatever, that it's putting on a toll. They need to add some pieces there. They need to add some depth. They need to get the tackles situated. The defense, too. They have to make some decisions on what they want to do. A corner, that all the way around on the defense. There's just a lot of pieces to work through. Another thing they got to do for this season to help them tank, they need to shut down Ezekiel Elliott. They need to just take him off the field. They should not be trying to win, and they need to preserve him for 2021, 2022 when they got Dak back and the team's healthy and they're really ready to make a run. They don't need him taking more carries, taking more hits, putting more wear on the tires when they're paying him so much money. So much money. Extend his lifespan out a little bit more because we're seeing him drop off a bit. We're seeing the tail end of his career kind of early here. Mostly that's due to volume of carries. just the pounding over the years from Ohio State to Dallas. And that volume of carries started during his rookie season, and it's been constant. He's good at getting a large volume of carries. He's good at that. It looks like he's lost a step. No one can argue with me about that. It does look like he has gotten slower, and the offensive line's not there to clear out the holes because everyone's hurt. And then we also have the Cowboys putting the defenses for that matter, in more of a pass-first situations because they're playing behind a lot. And the team knows that they should just stack the box. The opposing teams know they should just stack the box and let Andy Dalton, or try to see if Andy Dalton can beat them, which could happen on some days. We saw that against Minnesota. Andy Dalton looked good there, but other days it hasn't looked so great either. And this just isn't good. The Cowboys should tank. McCarthy looks like he's trying to tank in some areas, and looks like he's not. I bet you he looked at the divisional standings going into Thanksgiving and thought the Cowboys had a chance, and thought he could compete and really hammer out the rest of the schedule, swinging that Gallagher hammer, but it's just the wrong move. Thank God they lost that Thanksgiving game to the Redskins. Redskins probably should be trying to lose too, so they can build up and make a team. That team is on the rise. I'll talk about that in another video, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss that one out. But their schedule is kind of shaky here. They have Baltimore Ravens coming up. That game kind of got flexed or moved to Monday, I think on the 5th. That one is very interesting because the Ravens have been hit with COVID. They'll probably be coming off of that, so they should be back to full health, but we'll see what's going on there. I look for that to be an L, especially since they'll be on the road. They got the Bengals on the 13th. The Bengals aren't trying to win either. They lost Joe Burrow. Just that might be a win for Dallas. You may be seeing some more fake punts in that game. Just letting you know. San Francisco after that. Philadelphia. Philadelphia is going to be fighting for a division championship. They're going to be in it to win it. It's probably going to be between them and the Redskins. Maybe the Giants. Maybe. It's hard to tell between these teams. It's not like exciting either, but it is what it is. And then the Giants to close it out. Dallas could win one or two of those games. I believe they think they're still in it, which is sad. And if they think about their team long term from an analytical perspective, and the odds of them having a chance to win a Super Bowl, and the odds of them to be able to put together technically a functional lineup. Your offensive line is broken. It is broken. Most NFL teams, their defensive line is just going to run through you like hot butter. You have Dalton at quarterback. The wide receiver core is amazing. You have Zeke there taking touches he shouldn't be taking because the best case scenario, you win 3-4 games, finish out the year, and you make the playoffs, you lose. That's the best case. There's no way the Cowboys are going to make a run in the playoffs, go to the Super Bowl, and win it. I mean, if you put a bet on that and that hits, you're going to be rich because no one's predicting that, and it's not going to happen. We know it. If you disagree with that and you think the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl, I want to hear you talk about that and how you think that can play out in the comments. I'm more than willing to bet against that. And I'm sure the majority of the people in the front office have the same feeling. Coaching staff may not. People who are close to the players may not. But Dallas is not winning a Super Bowl. They need to shut it down. They need to shut Zeke down. Let Tony Pollard get the carries. See what he can do on the field. That way, you actually know what you have in him. Because here in a couple of years, when his contract's up, You got to make a decision. This cap purgatory is going to roll into 2022 and 2023. We need to know what these players are made out of, too, that are younger. A guy like Tony Pollard. So, that's all I got to say about the Dallas Cowboys. They need to tank the season. Thank you for watching. If this is something you're interested in, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you have any requests for any future shows or anything like that, or any questions, hit it in the comments. I'm more than happy to help you out. And if it's something I feel like I can rip a 5-10 minute video on, I'll do it. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.